Hi, this is Jack over at Dominion. I got a presentation here that I'm very excited to give, calling it Capitalizing on the Residential Foreclosure Crisis, which is something that's talked about quite often, but no one ever really spells out exactly a very simple 1, 2, 3 step way to take advantage of the market that everyone knows that we're in right now, but isn't exactly sure how to make the most of. And I want to kind of spell that out for you here in this presentation. First, I want to, in case you're not familiar with Dominion, we're focused on Baltimore City residential real estate investing. We buy about 125 to 150 properties each year. We renovate about 100 of those each year. We also make loans to other renovators. We sell as-is properties to other investors who are looking to invest in Baltimore City real estate. We renovate properties and sell them to first-time home buyers, and have a beautiful renovated retail product that has a great reputation in Baltimore. We're also a landlord. We have over 300 of our own rental properties that we manage ourselves. We are an educator. We've got an online real estate investment education program that we're rolling out right now. We've got 20 on-staff employees here at 1029 North Calvert Street in the Mount Vernon neighborhood of Baltimore. We've been here in business for over 9 years now in Baltimore, and the company's growing and doing very well. And through our renovations, we employ but we have over 50 captive subcontractors who are renovating properties just for us. In addition, we are a policy consultant. We work very closely with Baltimore Housing when they're crafting new code enforcement and permit policies. Who you are, if you've got a 660 plus credit score, if you've got a stable 40-hour-a-week or more job, you're looking to diversify out of what we feel is a very unstable stock market. It's been a very rough several years, and we haven't calmed down. We don't see the stock market calming down. You understand that down markets are when to invest, or when to buy, and you recognize that now, it's easy to recognize that now is a very down market in the real estate cycle. But you're too busy with real life to go learn Baltimore City on a block-by-block basis, which is really what you need to do if you're going to go learn to invest. If you're going to go invest in real estate, you need to really understand the market that you're investing in. You've got a wife, kids, a job, dog. That's not your business. You've got your own business. You're not interested in dealing with contractors. You're not interested in dealing with tenants. So how do you get involved in real estate investing, knowing that now is a great time to get involved? Knowing that now would be a great time to plan for your children's college education or for your own retirement, as the case may be. So really what I want to spell out here is what the opportunity in front of us is right now. And simply put, the opportunity is to build 3 rental properties. And I'm very specific. I'm limiting that to literally just 3 rental properties. The reason for that, I'll get into why only 3, but the simple answer is because 3 is better than none, and 3 is pretty good actually, as you'll see later on here in the presentation. It's an unstable stock market right now. I don't feel comfortable having my money in my 401k in the stock market. I've pulled that out and put it into a self-directed IRA, and really I've kept most of it in cash because I just don't feel comfortable about the stock market. What we do know in the real estate business that we are in is that it's a very stable rental market. Real estate prices have declined, but rents haven't declined significantly. If anything, rents are stable or on the increase because so many people are losing their homes and being forced to rent, which is bolstering that side of the real estate market. The rental properties that I'm going to be showing you here are the highest quality rental renovations in Baltimore. They're beautifully renovated properties, all upgraded mechanicals. Lead paint has been completely abated from the properties. They're really renovated for the long term. You're going to be working with an experienced property management team to handle everything. I've got 5 guys on staff who are maintenance guys, who handle all of our property management. We've got an on-staff leasing person. We do a real good job with our 315 plus unit portfolio, and you'd be managed right alongside every single one of our properties. And what we're offering here is a completely turnkey package. We handle absolutely everything. All I need you to do is show up for closing. And I'll explain to you how we're able to do this, but what I'm offering is that cash flowing cash flowing rental real estate from day one. This isn't something where you have to wait until the year 5. It's going to be negative cash flow for the first couple years, but we're going to turn it around. Now, from day one that that this property is rented, it's going to be covering the mortgage and all of the expenses on the property. And we'll get into that. So, how is this possible? Really, this wasn't possible a couple years ago. Dominion couldn't have offered this program even 2 years ago. Right now, we're finding that we can see it's the lowest real estate prices in a generation. We're able to buy properties from the banks. Most of these are foreclosure properties, and we're buying them at prices so low that we're able to renovate them, rent them, and sell them to you at economics that are very profitable for you, and that we can make money on as well, leveraging the platform that we've built to renovate rental properties. So I think a lot of people want to get invested in, when they want to get started investing in real estate, they get excited and they want to figure out how to build a big rental portfolio, and they decide that, hey, if I'm going to get into this, I'm going to get into it big. And I think that's the wrong approach. I think that people have overcomplicated this concept. Because of the financing markets, the credit markets being what they are right now, and lenders' hesitation to lend on real estate, the conventional markets will only lend to people. Conventional lending markets will only lend to people if they have no more than 4 property in their name. So, assuming that you own your personal residence, you can build and refinance 3 rental properties with fairly simple pre-qualification criteria. Once you get above 3, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. Your credit score has to be a little bit higher. It depends what your tax returns look like. I want to keep it simple. So what we're talking about here is just building 3 rental properties. And the economics that we're able to provide to build these rental properties for you is to have you put down $10,000 per property. So I'm talking about putting down $30,000 out of your retirement account or your savings, wherever you've got it. You're going to be purchasing properties with an average, and these are all average numbers, an average current appraised value of $100,000. Even in this very deflated real estate market, the current appraised value of these properties is approximately $100,000. And I'll show you a little bit later exactly how much money you're going to have into the properties. You'll see that you've got some equity in each of these from day one. The cash flow from these properties pays for all of the expenses. You don't have to cut a check each month. This is not going to be a cash flow drain on you. You put down the $30,000 up front, you never cut a check again. So the cash flow from the properties is going to pay for all of the expenses, plus it's going to build up a reserve account to pay for the turnovers down the road and any unforeseen capital expenses, like in 10 years you have to replace the roof, for example. We're going to have a reserve account that's way too much, actually, to make you feel comfortable that you'll never have to cut another check again. And that's really how good the economics are right now. What we're going to encourage you to do, though it's your properties, you can do whatever you want with them, we're going to encourage you to use the excess cash flow beyond the capital reserve account. There's even money beyond the capital reserve account. Use that excess cash flow to pay down debt more aggressively, more quickly. We don't think you should be greedy. Old-fashioned real estate investing is using the excess cash, is taking out a loan, refinancing, taking out a loan and using the excess cash flow to pay down the debt as quickly as possible, because the finish line is having these things paid off, is having these properties paid off and owning the real estate free and clear, so that you've got a tremendous amount of equity, 1, and 2, you don't have a mortgage to pay each month, so that you've got significant excess cash flow. If you do that, the numbers are such that in 15 years you can have put down $30,000 today and own $450,000 of real estate free and clear. So what exactly are you buying here? Baltimore City is full of row houses. That's what we invest in. We've got over 300 row houses. We don't buy multifamily buildings because the prices are too high. The row house market is fairly inefficient. Banks have tons of them. They don't know what to do with them. They all need to be renovated. They're all older housing stock, and they sell cheap. And as long as you stay off of the real bad blocks, as long as you stay out of the war zones, and that's what we're on. We're able to buy properties on stable blocks in Baltimore, and you're gonna have that verified through independent appraisal, and you can do that on the front end. But you're going to be buying row houses on stable rental and homeowner blocks in Baltimore City, and they're going to be beautifully renovated properties. All of them are going to be provided with 1-year warranties from our company, and all of the properties have been completely upgraded with respect to the mechanicals. Lead paint has been abated. So the most frequently asked questions when you're talking about building a rental portfolio are, what if the tenants don't pay, and what if the tenants destroy the house? One thing, a program in Baltimore City that we're very fond of, that we use a lot, is the Section 8 program. If you're not familiar with it, it's also referred to as the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And basically what it is a federal subsidy to very low income people that need help paying the rent. And you put your name on a list. In Baltimore, 10 years later, your name gets called. If you still are in that same financial situation, the federal government will give you a voucher which will help you to pay your rent. So it's a program that the landlord has to be willing to work with, and we've set up all of our property management systems to work well with the Section 8 program. The rent comes in from a wire from the federal government on the first of the month, every single month, and generally speaking, I'd say on average 80 to 90% of the rent is paid by the federal government. The tenant is responsible for a much smaller portion, which is based on their income and their ability to pay. So what we like about this system is that it makes you through a lot of hoops as a landlord. It holds you very accountable for the condition of the property and your management. So it makes us be a very high quality, high service property manager. And so we're held to a high level of accountability, and as a result, the tenant is held to a high level of accountability. If the tenant bangs up the house or isn't paying their portion, we can file a complaint to the program, and that there will be a hearing, and it can jeopardize the tenant's voucher status. And given that there's a 10-year waiting period and that the federal government is paying 80 to 90% of your rent, that's not a voucher that you want to lose. So we actually find that Section 8 tenants are very rarely, we have heavy turnovers with Section 8 tenants, and almost always, and they're always paying their portion, because not paying their $200 portion can get them kicked off of this program. So that's not a situation that they want to find themselves in. So for that main reason, we've crafted really our entire business model around using the Section 8 rental program, our rental business around the Section 8 rental program. Our experience, Dominion has over 315 rental units in Baltimore City. Like I said, we renovate about 90 rental properties per year. 65 or 70 of those are new properties that we're adding to our portfolio. So by the end of 2010, right now it's September, we've got about 315. By the end of 2010, we expect to have about 350. By the end of 2011, we expect to be in the 420, 425 range. So we're aggressively building rental properties here in the city, exactly under the same program, using the same contractors and same property management teams that we're describing in this program here. Dominion itself is an MDE, which is the Maryland Department of the Environment, MDE accredited lead paint contractor. So we do all of our own lead paint abatement. We've got MDE accredited lead paint supervisors and accredited lead paint workers, all on staff, and all of our subcontractors who are doing work, doing lead paint abatement work in our houses have all gone to the MDE classes to get those certificates, to get that accreditation. And then additionally, we're MHIC licensed, bonded, and insured. So reputable company. We've been doing business here in the city for 9-10 years, and we've got, like I said, we've got 20 people on staff at 1029 North Calvert Street.